Let's look at what a unit vector is, and we've talked about it as being magnitude 1. Let's look at it in some more detail. So the vectors I with a little hat on it and j with a little hat on it, they're called unit vectors, and they each have a magnitude of 1. Now when you see a vector written, you'll often see it written with a little hat on the I. So 2i with a little hat plus 3j with a little hat. Now I often don't do that. I'll just have u equals 2i plus 3j, but technically you should have the little hat because that means I and j are unit vectors. They're length 1. By putting the 2 in front, that makes that length 2. The 3j length 3. Okay, so you're multiplying that unit vector by a scalar of 2 or 3. Now since a unit vector is of length 1 unit, the magnitude of a with a little hat on it is 1. So if we multiply any vector by the magnitude, it increases its length. Now since a unit vector is a vector of length 1 unit, the magnitude of vector a with a hat, the unit vector a, is 1. So if we multiply that unit vector by the magnitude of vector a, we get the vector a. In other way of putting that, the unit vector is going to be the vector a, and can't see the bold, so I'm going to put a little tilde under these vectors. It's going to be the vector a multiplied by 1 over the magnitude, or the unit vector is going to be the vector divided by its magnitude. So you're getting that vector dividing by its magnitude, which is giving it a magnitude of 1. If I have a vector with magnitude 5, if I divide that vector by 5, I'm making its magnitude 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So let's look at an example, and hopefully that becomes clearer. Determine the unit vector in the direction of u. So what that's saying is I have this vector u. I want the vector that has magnitude 1. Alright, now in regards to this diagram, that vector u is 6i plus 3j. To find the vector, the unit vector u, I need to know the magnitude of my vector u, so I can divide by that magnitude. So I'm reducing the length to be 1, or the magnitude to be 1. So let's start by finding the magnitude of u. So that's the square root of x squared, 6 squared, plus the square root of y squared. That's the square root of 45, which becomes 3 root 5. Remembering square root of 45 is the square root of 9 times the square root of 5. So that's how I got that value. So my unit vector is going to be 6 over 3 root 5i plus 3 over 3 root 5j. Now I can simplify my fractions and get 2 over root 5i plus 1 over root 5j. Now I need to rationalize the denominator. So a quick review of that. If I've got 2 over root 5, I times by 1, which is root 5 on root 5. So that's 2 root 5 in my numerator, and root 5 times root 5 is 5. So I've ended up with a rational denominator. So that means this becomes 2 root 5 over 5i plus root 5 over 5j. And that's my answer. Now you can check it if you find the magnitude of that unit vector, it'll be 1. So let's do a quick check. So the square root of, I'm going to go back to my pre-rationalized form just because it's quicker. So square root of x squared plus y squared to find that magnitude. So that's going to be 4 over 5 plus 1 over 5, which is a square root of 5 over 5, which is a square root of 1, which is 1 unit. So it's magnitude 1. Pause the video, try and do the next one on your own. So this one says let A equal 3i plus 4j, find the magnitude of A, and hence find the unit vector in the direction of A. So we want the vector that's in the same direction of A but with magnitude 1. So we need to start by finding the magnitude of our vector. So that's the square root of x squared plus y squared. So square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared, which is square root of 25, which is 5. You might have realized that's a 3, 4, 5 triangle and been able to write that magnitude straight off. So my unit vector is going to be 3 over 5i plus 4 over 5j. Again, you can check that. The magnitude of that unit vector is the square root of 3 over 5 all squared plus 4 over 5 all squared, which is a square root of 9 over 25 plus 16 over 25, which is the square root of 25 over 25, which is 1. Now your calculators can work out unit vectors for you. Make sure you can go through this process and work that out for yourself, because it's a good way to be able to check your answer. Now note, the calculator will give you decimal values, not exact values. So if you've ever asked to find the exact value, you'll have to do it by hand.